Assalamu alaikum and good morning, dear students. Hopefully, all of you are doing great and staying safe at home. My name is AKM Iftikhar Chaudhary, and I have been working here as lecturer for English in Government City College, Chattogram. Today, we will discuss a very interesting topic, and the name of the topic is report writing. You know that you will have this section in your second paper examination, and you will be given 10 marks for this specific piece of writing. So what are the things we will discuss today? So we will discuss firstly the definition of report, then parts of news report. Third point is description of all parts. Then sample, we will provide you a sample of the report. And finally, we will conclude our class reviewing the discussion. So we are starting with definition. You see that it is a spoken or written description of an event or situation, especially one intended for publication or broadcasting in the media. So a newspaper report is actually published to broadcast in the media or to draw attention of a specific person or to draw attention of different types of people. So that's why it could be spoken form, it could be in written form, but mainly written form, written description is accepted, and it is a written description of an event or situation. Or you can say a report that is a document that presents information in an organized format for a specific audience and purpose. So you see that it is a document, and this document presents information in an organized format. That means that there is a certain format of report, and this report will be written for a specific audience, and it has a single purpose, individual purpose or a specific purpose. And you can say that summaries of reports, when a report is written, and the summary of the report could be delivered orally, okay, in a spoken form. But complete reports are almost always in the form of written documents. So complete reports, total report, are always published in the form of written paper, written document. And now, what are the parts of news report? So the first part is headline. So you have to provide a headline of the report. That means reading the headline, the reader will understand that what is the report about. Then name or post of reporter, the person or the designation of that specific reporter will be stated there, will be presented or should be presented at the beginning of the report, or sometimes in some other newspapers it could be at the end of the report. Third point is place and date. That means from where the report has been collected. When you know that the report is actually describing the specific condition of a specific place, of a locality. So the place and date should be mentioned, when it was written and where it was from, where, depending on which situation, depending on which place and which locality it was written, should be stated there. And next point is introduction. Actually, it is the main part. It is the main part, introduction. That means in the introduction, the reporter will actually introduce what is the report about. Okay. And then body. That means in the body section, all the details will be there. All the details, what happened, how happened, what are the situations were there. All the details will be discussed in the body section. And finally, the report will be concluded through a simple statement, through a concluding statement, like the introduction. And now we will discuss in briefly the headline. So how will you construct a headline? So headline should be brief and attractive. Okay, headline should be brief and attractive. Headline should be eye-catching, and headline could not be lengthy, could not be a long sentence, could not be lengthy. Okay, it should be brief. and it expresses the importance of a report, and this headline will actually manifest the importance of a report. Okay, that means these headlines refers the significance of that specific report. Third point is it is not a complete sentence. So whenever you are writing the headlines, you will not write it in a sentence, you will write in phrase or group of words. Okay, then verbal less noun phrase used, that means verb or less noun phrase used here. You will use noun phrase, or but most of the times you will try to you will try to avoid verb. Okay, then avoid articles and be verbs. So again, when you are producing the headline, when you're writing the headline, you have to avoid articles and be verbs like the am, is, are, was, were, been. Okay, so these are the things you have to follow when you are writing headline. And last one is usage of indefinite tense. Whatever you are writing, try to write the headline in indefinite tense. That means it should not be indefinite. Okay, then how will you write the introduction? Whenever you are writing the introduction, as I mentioned, that introduction will actually introduce that what is the topic about. So whenever you are writing it, this part, okay, this should be a single sentence. Firstly, in the single sentence, you will try to mention these: what, who, where, when, how, and why. This generally we say that it is an introductory sentence, and in this introductory sentence you will try to provide all the informations, all the answers, like from the questions like what, who, where, when, how, and why. That means what happened, who was involved there, where it was happened, when it was happened, how it was happened, and why it was happened. So these are the questions you will try to answer into introductory section. Then here the main incident will be written briefly. Okay, very briefly you will write the main incident here. When you are answering the certain questions, actually you are writing briefly the main incident. Then the explanation should be given. The explanation should be given, okay, in the introductory section. And now what will be in the body section? Now you will actually elaborate. That means you have answered that two people died. So who are the two people? So details of who are the two people. That means what are their ages, where they are from, their village, their district. Okay, these are the things you will mention. Then sources mean when you are writing report, actually you are not present there. It could be most of the situation, in most of the situation the reporters were not actually present in the place where the occurrence happened. So the sources actually will be collected, or generally are collected from the local people. So you have to mention the sources that from whom you have collected this. Description of the incident. Yes, now you will describe that how this incident actually happened, what are the causes, what are the reasons, and who was involved there, how they are doing this. So these are the things you will tell. And result of the incident. After this incident, after this action, after the occurrence, what happened there, what was the outcome of that incident, how many people died, how many people were affected. So you will tell about this here. Active voice, yes, most of the time you will try to write the sentences in active voice. And yes, it is not like that you will not be able to use passive voice. No, not like that. But yes, but most of the time you have to use active voice. Then short sentences, concise sentences with action verbs. Yes, you have to use short sentences, because if you write too long sentences, what will happen? You will not be able to connect all the sentences in a chronological manner. So that's why whatever you will try to do, you will try to write short sentences and concise sentences and meaningful sentences with the action verbs, because the action verb will actually make the sentence concise. Language needs to be simple. Yes, whenever you are writing report, so you are focusing on a specific audience and you have a clear purpose, so you are trying to actually make the people understand about the report. So that's why the language needs to be simple. And in the newspaper, you know that most of the common people read the newspaper, so you have to try to Right, you have to try to use the language in a very simple manner. Lucid language, simple language you will use in the body. Finally, the report will be concluded with one or two sentences, and you will not provide any recommendations there. Okay, sometimes what we see that the reporter actually recommends, the reporter cannot comment on the specific situation, because the reporter, the correspondent, will only speak that what are the sources are saying, what the sources of the locality they are saying. So they will not actually recommend something. Simply inform the condition of the locality or affected area and local people. So the reporter will only inform the audience that what was the condition of the locality, and who were the affected people, and what is the condition of the affected area. So these are the things will be discussed in the conclusion. Now there is a simple there is a example. So you can see that this is the title: two burned to death in Sitakundu. So two burned to death, it's not a sentence, so there are phrases within these phrases the title is created. So this is how you will actually create your headline. So see, this is the name of the correspondent, Rafiq, and from the place Sitakundu, and the date was is mentioned here. So this is how you will actually mention this. Now this is the introduction part. Two persons were burned to death in a devastating fire at shipbreaking yard at Madam Bibi area of Sitakundu Upazila on Thursday night. So you will try to find the answers of questions like who. So two persons. What happened? What happened? Uh, so what happened? So it's happened that like burned to death. This is the result. So this is the result of the incident. uh, where in a devastating fire at shipbreak yard at Madam Bibi area of Sitakundu Upazila. Okay, so the incident is that outbreak of fire. Okay, outbreak of fire. This is the mentioning of where it was happened and when it was happened. Okay. Then, according to Sitakundu Upazila sources, the dead bodies were identified as Rahat and Ashfaq. So this is the details. This is the details of the affected person, of the victim. Okay, Rahat belonged to Mitachira Upazila, while Ashfaq, son and Shavuddin, was from Noakhali district. So these are the details of the two persons. Now, moreover, besides two persons have been missing since the accident occurred, they are Fahad, Bablu, and Abbas. So these are the extra information about the persons who were actually missing after that incident. Then the fire occurred when the workers were engaged in breaking the ship. So how it was happened, the incident was happened, it was mentioned here. So it was followed by a big bang in the yarn. So the reason is mentioned, and how it was happening, it is actually mentioning here. The two persons were burned and the bodies were recovered by the fellow workers. So this is the sequence of the actions. The fate of the missing persons is yet to know. A case has been filed with Sitakundu Upazila regarding this issue. So this is actually a conclusion of the report. So you can review actually what we have discussed today, and you see that the report like newspaper report and magazine report. So what will you do? You have to remember that simple past tense for magazine and mixture of tenses for newspaper. You will do this. You can use both the passive voice, but mainly you will use active voice in the report. There are three parts: introduction, body, conclusion. So in the introduction part, what you'll do: what, date, time, place, who, where, when. These are things you will mention in the introduction part. In the body part, what will you do? You will tell about the detail of the incident, causes, consequences, effects, guests, steps, activities, people involved, relevant details. These are the things you will actually mention in the body part. And final one is conclusion. In the conclusion, the reactions, the statements of the people, promises by the authorities, steps taken, all the significant points will be mentioned in the conclusion. Okay, so when you are reporting, the reporter will present the report having being a third person. Okay, so these are the actually points you have to remember. And in school magazine report, the format will be like this: heading and name of the writer. And whenever you are writing newspaper report, you have to write the heading, name of the reporter, date and place. These are the things you have to actually review, you have to remember when you are writing a report. Now there I have provided you two tasks which you will try to do at home. So there is a terrible fire in a chemical company. Suppose you are a correspondent of a renowned daily of the country. Now write a report on that incident for your newspaper. So you will try to write the report following the guidelines which I have mentioned today, and you will try to write a report on the next topic, that is write a report on the existing condition of your locality affected by COVID-19, being a correspondent of a daily newspaper of the country. So you know that we are facing a pandemic, and in this pandemic what is the situation of your locality. You will try to write also this depending on the today's guideline. I'd like to thank you again, students. Well, wish you good luck and try to stay safe at home. We will also meet, inshallah, in the next class. Till then, thank you and best wishes.